Denver, Colorado in 1969. I was a student at Colorado State University. I was a junior. Prior to that, I was at a junior college at Arizona Western. I played ball there, and I transferred to Colorado State thinking that I was going to continue to play ball, but I heard Clyde Valcourt speak on the radio, and I wanted to meet this man because of the things that he had said that I was feeling. And I was 20 years old, and at that time, I'm sure many young Indian people were looking, searching for our spirituality, our way of life, and I was no different. And when I met Clyde Valcourt, he introduced me to his brother, Vernon Valcourt, and they were in the process of forming the American Indian Movement chapter in Denver. And then Albert Hale, another Dene who was going to school at CSU, we both joined Denver AIM at that time, 1969, and then went into 1970. Went to the Sundance up in Pine Ridge that June, and met Crow Dog and Black Elk, Dennis Banks, and saw the Sundance for the first time. And I also ended up hitchhiking to Alcatraz Island because in 1969, all of 1970 and part of 71, young Indian men and women had occupied Alcatraz Island out in San Francisco. I wanted to see what that was all about. So my involvement in the movement began at that time. And I participated in Cass Lake, Raymond Yellow Thunder demonstrations, ended up being part of the Trail of Broken Treaties caravan, taking over the BIA building. And that was quite an experience. And these campaigns were right after another. And as I look back and thought about what was it that we were doing, we were fighting for our treaty rights, we were fighting for our religious rights, we were fighting for our human rights. In border towns like Rapid City, Gallup, New Mexico, Farmington, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, places like that where Indian people were being beaten all the time. It was up to the young people that made that commitment to stop those attacks on our people. And the American Indian movement, for those of us who made that commitment because we were young, we were willing to stand up to to injustices. And then what happened prior to the occupation of Wounded Knee was in Custer, where they had the confrontation with the police. That's when I realized that this was getting very intense. And we had the use of the pipe. And I carried my corn pollen, my arrowhead. And from what I had learned from my grandparents, that would protect you. And I know that many of us returned to that way. We all used the sweat lodge. And it was a beautiful experience. I look back, when Wounded Knee happened, I was 24 years old. And, we were young, we were idealistic, adventurous, willing to take on the federal marshals and the FBI, and we believed in the power of our medicine.